Hello, I'm James Routledge. I'm a Professor of Accounting in the Hitotsubashi University Business School. An issue that continues to interest me as a researcher is the impact of regulation on commercial activity. There are many important questions related to this issue. First, there is a general question as to the extent to which commercial activity should be regulated. There are two opposing views. The first is that regulation should be minimal and that market forces can be left to resolve problems rather than regulation. The second view is that because of observable and significant market failures, regulation is needed. The fact is, regulation is present in many areas of commerce, so perhaps the most important question is whether regulation is effective. Is it good for business? That is, does it lead to the outcomes anticipated by regulators? I would like to share with you an example of how my recent research has addressed this question. The example I would like to share is related to gender diversity on company boards of directors. What percentage of board members do you think female directors represent? You may be surprised to know that in many countries the percentage is very low. So low, in fact, that regulation has been introduced in some countries to increase the number of female directors on boards. For example, since 2003, women are required to fill at least 40% of board seats for Norwegian companies. This raises an obvious question. Is regulation to increase board diversity necessary and worthwhile? This can be answered by examining whether board gender diversity improves board decision-making and performance. I was recently involved in a research project that looked at this issue. The study examined whether having female directors on company boards improved disclosure in the area of corporate social responsibility, or CSR. Specifically, we examined disclosures related to greenhouse gas emissions. Investors are increasingly concerned that companies are properly managing greenhouse gas emission risks, and they are requiring more and better quality disclosure to assess the company's performance in this area. What did we find? The results of our study showed that companies with female directors were more likely to make emissions disclosures, and those disclosures were of better quality. That is, they were more useful and informative to investors. This was especially the case if there was more than one female director on the board, which is consistent with the view that a critical mass of female directors leads to improved board decision-making. What are the implications? Well, our published study shows that regulation aimed at increasing board gender diversity is on the right track. Why? Well, because it encourages gender equality, which is desirable, but importantly because it can enhance business decision-making and lead to improved company performance. This is just one example of my research concerned with the impact of current regulation. Other interesting questions that I have addressed include whether corporate governance regulation improves financial disclosure and the link between executive pay and company performance, and whether recent regulation of auditing practice means investors can have more confidence in audited financial reports. Research provides useful insights on important real-world problems and informs teaching at Hitotsubashi. This assists in developing our graduates as business leaders or captains of industry who add value to business and to their communities.